Mm. Oh my goodness. It is so great to have you back. We are in yet another fun-filled adventure around converting units of measurement. You'll see if you have watched other videos around converting units of measurement, you'll see that the steps for this really won't change. It's really all about the units themselves. Like that changes, but steps don't. But hey, whatever. I think I say that all the time. Let's just move in right away to my favorite part, which is kind of defining the words of what we're doing, right? So let's start with this. So today, if we think about the concept of converting, remember that really is just to like change. And that could also be that idea of equivalent, right? We are changing one thing to another, but they're still going to equal the same. One could use the basic example of converting is I could have a decimal that says 3/10, and I could convert that to a fraction that says 3/10. They are equal in value. They have just changed the way they look. So that's really what it means to convert. So that's the converting part. So we're going to be changing units of measurement from one kind to the other, and or maybe just making them all the same so we can compare their values. Next, let's talk about units, right? This is the thing that we are counting, if you will. Or maybe even the thing that we change. So it could be ounces, it could be pounds. In a sense, it's almost like the labels in a word problem. I think if you've been on many videos with us and watched through many different math concepts, you'll see that like that concept of a unit shows up in all the places. So it is the thing that we're counting and making sense of. And then our final word then, well, besides of, but that's just the thing, is measurement. And this again is the way that we can look at the way that we measure things. We can measure things with capacity, like how much something holds or volume. We measure the distance or like lengths of things. We can measure time. We measure height, weight, all sorts of things that we can measure. But today, it's actually on our list. Today, we're going to be focusing on time. So today we're going to be converting units of measurement, thinking about time. Yes, this one's dope. I love this one, because it actually changes the rules of numbers, I guess, kind of. Does it really change? I don't know if it really changes it, but it's something to pay attention to. So let's kind of look at that today. So when we're discussing the concept of time, oh, what is time? Oh, that is so deep. What is time? Um, we're really thinking about what we know already around minutes, hours, seconds, right? So if we think about that first large unit, we think about the hour. And yes, you could go further, but we're not really focusing on days and weeks. We're just really thinking here. And an hour, if we were to convert that into its next piece, would be the minutes. That is the equivalent of 60 minutes. So 60 minutes makes 1 hour. And, you know, this could very much be knowledge you already have. I don't like the way that panned out. Um, there, kind of looks like that now. There, that looks better. And then as we break down minutes, so if we had 1 minute, right, not the 60 of them, that also then becomes those smaller units of seconds, and that would be 60. So 60 seconds makes a minute, 60 minutes makes an hour. So what's cool about this, what's cool about time, which is different than anything else, is that, um, you know, all the numbers we've used this year have been around base 10, right? And we've seen that with the metric system, right? We're multiplying by tens, hundreds, thousands, whatever that may be, you know. We're talking about meters and centimeters and things like that. That's in base 10. But you'll notice here with time, it is not base 10. In fact, as you can see, our base for it is base 60. And this is where a lot of times time can get, a lot of times that time itself can get confusing because it's a base 60 unit. Every time I get to 60, I move on to the next group, right? So every 60 seconds is a minute, not every 100 seconds. That would be base 10. Not every 10 seconds. That would be base 10. But 60 seconds makes a minute. 60 minutes makes an hour, not 15 minutes. 15 minutes don't make an hour, 10, 20, whatever, right? It's 60. So we're actually working in base 60 with this. And although that's somewhat different because we're not used to it, it's also cool because really, if we break that down, and if you've watched these videos, you'll already know, one of the things we're always focusing on is the rule. And all this really means then for us is that the rule is either going to be divided by 60 or it's going to be multiplied by 60 because it's a base 60 world. Pretty cool, huh? I'm going to try something out. Ready for this? Let's see what we get. Yeah, cool. Wait, did it show like a thumbs up pop up on the screen? Clappy, yay. I don't know if you can see that, but I was trying the new little reactions. Let's do this one. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you saw those or I just wasted time, but I think they just pop up on the screen. I don't see them, but hey, whatever. Okay, moving on. I don't know why I was so excited to use this. So our rule in all of this is going to be base 60. Now the cool thing again, as I was saying, is our rules are no different. So if you watched this video before or these videos before on converting units measurement, we have a 3-step process. One, we're going to make a T-chart and we're going to do what I call the one too many. And that will make sense. It's either you're like, oh yeah, I know that because I've been watching these, or I don't know what that is, but don't worry, I'll explain it. 2, we find our rule. Well, guess what? We already know it's either going to be divided by 60 or times 60 with time. That's the cool part. Even though it's base 60, our rule is going to be one of those two. It won't be any different than that. So that's a bonus. And then 3, we just solve for unknown. So we solve for the unknown. And the unknown will show up, in our T-chart. Okay, cool. That was fun. Like always, I like to break everything down. Let's actually get into the math now. So let's look at an example problem and play around and see what we can do. Let's check out this. What we gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm gonna do this practice problem. I don't know why that was my voice right now. That was a fun one. That was like math challenge voice. Okay, so let's say we have 6 hours. And the question is, well, can we convert that to minutes? How many minutes would be found in 6 hours? The first one I always like to kind of serve up. You could probably already do that in your head if you want. And if you can't, don't worry. It's okay. Some people might be like, oh, I got that in my head. That isn't the point. The point here is let's practice the system. And remember our system here, the first thing we want to do here is we're going to make that T-chart, right? That's step 1 to make that T-chart. So let's come back over here and let's make that T-chart. Let's make that T-chart. So when making the T-chart, right, we're going to use the 2 units. So over here we have hours. I always like to take the first one and put it on the left of my T-chart. And then we have minutes. So I'm going to go M, right? Hours, minutes. That's where we're at there. And then if you remember, it's the one-to-many rule. So I'm not even looking at my problem yet. That thing that's in green, I'm just going with the rules of what I already know. Maybe I don't already know it. But let's go back and look. We did put that down. If we come here, we're looking for wait, I already forgot. Is it minutes to hours? I already forgot the problem. Oh, yeah, it's hours and minutes. Oh, boy. Okay, so hours and minutes then would be, Space Cadet. Would be this one right here. Right? So we know our 1 hour is 60 minutes. So that's our one to many. So let's go back to our T-chart and let's make sure we put that in. So our one to many is 1 hour is 60 minutes. And then from there, we can write the rule. That's the cool part. The rule is right here. The rule states if I take hours and I multiply it by 60, I'll get minutes, right? Because that's what's happening. I'm going from hours to minutes. So I go from 1 to 60, and I can see that that number gets larger. So I know it's multiplication. And then I also know it's base 60 at this point. So 1 times 60 equals 60. So that's going to give me my answer. So that's step 2 of this, right? So we made a T-chart, found the one to many. Now we made our rule. That's step 2. And then step 3 is just solve for the unknown. So to do that, we're actually going to, step 3 is actually when we take the problem we're looking at. Now the unknown is minutes. That's what we're looking for. What we have is hours. So I'm going to put 6 under hours in my T-chart. And then I can just substitute. Like, here's my formula over here. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to erase this H. And I'm going to substitute it with the 6 for the hours. And then that's going to get me my answer. So let's base 10 that. So 6 times 6 equals 36. And a 0 put it on. So 360 minutes is what we'd find in 6 hours. Okay, so again, it's the same. We've done this with all units of measurement. So really think about that. Again, T-chart, one to many, find the rule, plug in the unknown, or plug in what you do know to find the unknown and move on. So let's do the second one. We'll just do 2 today. I'm going to throw it up there. Again, feel free to do the pause and solve on your own, and then unpause and see how you did. So let's go with this next one. Let's say I'm writing. Nope, let's get darker so we can see it. There we go. Let's say I have 390 seconds. And we are wanting to convert that to minutes. How many minutes would we find in 390 seconds? So again, like I said, go ahead and pause this video now and try to solve this, and then unpause and kind of look at how you did. So this is the unpause. You have unpaused. You've done this in your journal. You've done this on paper. You've done this on whatever you're doing work on. So let's go ahead and dive in. So step 1 again, T-chart, right? Units of measurement. I always like to just read left to right. The unit of measurement I have for this one first is seconds, and then I'm going to minutes. Then I want to go with my one to many. Well, my one to many actually is this. I know that it's 1 minute equals 60 seconds, right? That's what the one actually goes under the minutes this time. But that's okay, because when we write our rule, same thing, we can go left to right, right? I'm gonna go this way when we write our rule. I'm gonna use a different color. I'm feeling challenged with colors. I thought they had more, but they're kind of limiting. Anyway, sorry, moving on. So what this states then is that if I have S, right? Well, when I'm at S, I have 60, and when I end up at M, I have 1. So I got smaller. So I'm actually going to divide because I'm getting smaller. And then we know because it's base 60 with time, and this doesn't work. It's not that easy for all the other ones, but it works really well for this, is that we are going to divide by 60, and that would get us our minutes. Okay, so T-chart, 1 to many, wrote my rule. So seconds divided by 60 equals minutes. Now we're going to plug in what we know. We know that we have 390 seconds. We're trying to figure out minutes. So if I substitute, that means that this S right here is going to become 390, right? That whole concept of substitution. So let's go ahead and do that. So 390 divided by 60 equals M. I mean, it's lined up for base 10, but to be honest with you, I can't think of 39 divided by 6 equaling anything that's a whole number, right? Because if I think about my multiples of 6, right? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. I never got to 39. So it's not a whole number. That's cool. That won't matter. Let's just do the division then. So we have, I'll put it right here, 390 being divided by 60. 6 times 5 is 30, so 60 times 5 is 300. That leaves me with 90, or I could do one more group of 60. And that leaves me with a 30. Sorry, my page is running out, so I'm gonna write 30 over here. So this would be my remainder because it's smaller. So I'm gonna add these up. That's a plus sign. So 5 plus 1 is 6 minutes. And then I have 30 out of 60 left over. Which, oh, whoa, okay. Well, then that means I have 30 seconds out of 60 seconds, which is actually half of a minute. So I'm gonna just change this. This is actually 6 and 1/2 minutes. So check that out. See, and if you wrote 30 60ths, that's fine. 3/6 is fine, right? You might have said, oh, it's 30 60ths and 6 and 30 60. Then, we'll accept that. I mean, no one ever says, oh, you have 30 60ths of a minute left. We often say you have half of a minute left, but that's okay. Or if maybe you thought about the rule of crossing out the zeros, you have 6 and 3/6. You're right, that's reduced. But again, has anyone ever said to you, hey, I'll give you 3/6 of a minute to finish that job? We do tend to think in halves. Now, that's when it works evenly. This worked evenly as a half. Who knows? Maybe at some point when you're doing your math, it is 6 and 2/6 of a minute. I don't know. It just depends on what's going on with the data. Anyway, that's it today. Keep it brief. Same steps. So that's why. Remember base 60 Remember, make your T-chart, write your rule, solve for the unknown, and you're done. And I'm gonna keep talking like this and be like, yo, that's it. That is it. You're awesome. Let me see if I can do another thing. So, ooh, that's a heart because you're awesome. I don't know if you can see these, but it's really fun. I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's do one more. Let's do heart eyes guy. Wow, I'm so in love with math. Okay, wait, I said one more. You're like, okay, can I just go on and do my math now? You definitely can. This video is over, but before that, you get a caterpillar. If none of these little emojis show up on the screen in the finalizing of this video, I'll be disappointed. Actually, I won't. You'll just be wondering why I'm making weird names and yelling. Wait, I do that in every video, so why would you question that? Okay, you're the best. Keep working. We'll catch you later. Peace out. Word.